joining me here tonight at the pond. And this is the same pond at the Wilderness Center where I have made videos on previous nights. As you can see, the spotted salamanders are once again active here in the pond. I got to witness their big migration last week, and then I came back once again, and on that day it had not been raining and it was a bit too cold and they seemed to be gone, so I wasn't sure if that was it for the spectacle this year. Fortunately, it was not. We had a good amount of rain this evening. Temperatures were warm in the 70s Fahrenheit. And as you can see, the salamanders have either returned to the pond, or this is a fresh batch that has just now arrived. Now, there aren't as many as there had been the other night when I was here, but I have got better flashlight batteries this evening and should be able to make better recordings of those who are here. Now, those who are here do seem to be a lot more purposeful in their movements tonight, where previously it was difficult to really make out any sort of pattern. But what I have observed here this evening was I have actually seen males nudging what seem to be females over toward their spermatophores or sperm packets. And I believe that we're able to actually witness their breeding tonight by paying close attention to what the individuals are doing. Now, on the previous night, there were some very large females, and I have since learned that the females are indeed larger than the males, but that some of those females in particular must have already been gravid or pregnant. I have, however, looked for eggs in the depths here and have not seen any yet. After these salamanders lay their eggs, they actually, the jelly of the eggs absorbs a tremendous amount of water, and it will become very, very large. But as yet I see no eggs, small or large. But soon they will be found here in abundance. I am sure of it. So as we watch these guys, we wonder, are they looking for a place where they can lay their eggs? Now, as I said before, these guys are known for emerging in large numbers, which is why it's considered a migration. They will emerge from beneath the ground, which is where they live most of the year, not extremely far down, but just in mammal burrows and things like that below the surface. And they will emerge in the springs triggered by a rainfall. They say it's usually the first warm night of the year they will come out. And they say, however, that males arrive about a week ahead of the females, which begs the question, do the males remain in the pond waiting for the females? This is what I had anticipated, but as I came back on my second visit here, I did not see any on that night, which was not raining. So I supposed that no, the males must not remain in the pond, but must go back underground, and maybe then they return again on subsequent rainy nights. So there's still a lot that I have to learn about this amazing species. But as you can see, they are a fairly good-sized salamander, and they live quite long. Even in the wild, they have been known to live 25 to 30 years. And as adults, they live on the ground, not in the water. In fact, they will most often be underneath the ground, as I said, in mammal burrows that they will then inhabit. Also, they spend some time in leaf litter or underneath rotten logs. So they are most commonly found if you were to be digging below ground, not so much walking around, although in the early spring, in places where they breed, you will encounter them readily on these warm spring nights as they cross through their usual paths to reach their wetland pools. Now, normally, as I said in my previous video, they breed in what are called vernal pools, and a vernal pool is typically a rather shallow woodland pond that is only present in the spring or the early portions of the year, and is shallow, does tend to dry up, and is therefore devoid of fish. Of course, fish would be a major predator on their eggs and larvae, so it would stand to reason that they would do best in areas without fish. This is a permanent pond where we are right now, but there are no fish in here either. So because of that, it has tremendous diversity of macroinvertebrates. As you can see, many of them swimming around here, and we will make videos of the invertebrates at a later point for sure, because there are some really amazing ones. We also have, of course, a lot of amphibian species who come here to breed. So not only the spotted salamanders, but you can surely hear some spring peepers as well. Later in the year, gray tree frogs will come here to breed. And it looks as though those two back swimmers are also breeding, if you can see them on the right side. So spring is certainly an exciting time for reproduction all across the animal kingdom. One interesting thing about this species is that not only do their eggs swell up very large, but they also are later colonized by algae. And this algae that moves into the eggs actually provides oxygen to the developing larvae inside. So later in the season, when we see these eggs, which surely we will, they will look rather greenish in color, and that is because of the presence of the algae. Alright, I'm going to break this now, and then I will pick up a little bit later. Thank you so much for watching. Here's some more good spotted salamander behavior. Now, compared to the other night when there were so many more, these guys are really seeming pretty relaxed about the whole deal. Here you can see them really seeming a bit languid. Every now and then they nudge one another, but it doesn't seem to be a hurried affair in any sense. I have not actually seen anybody pick up a spermatophore or lay an egg, but I have seen a lot of social interaction between the salamanders. However, they seem to nudge one another for a bit before then moving off and going their separate ways. None of which seems to happen very quickly. There you just saw a large tadpole cross the scene. That would be either a bullfrog or green frog tadpole. Both of them are found here in the pond. Unlike frog larvae, which of course are tadpoles. Salamander larvae are carnivorous. Tadpoles can also eat some animal matter, but of course most commonly they would eat algae and other plant material. Salamander larvae, on the other hand, are carnivorous, and they will eat various small invertebrates in the water according to their body size at the time, eating progressively larger things as they mature. Cannibalism is also a risk among salamander larvae, both spotted and of other species. They will also feed upon the larvae of other salamander species if they happen to be the larger species at the time. In fact, Jefferson salamanders, who breed a little bit earlier than spotted salamanders, their larvae, because they are older and they also do mature more quickly, have been known to prey upon spotted salamander larvae, but we have not seen any Jefferson salamanders in here this year. These are truly a fascinating and beautiful little animal, and it is such a privilege to get to see them just once per year. Or this year, I guess, that would be twice per year. Let's see. Trying to focus in on these guys here, but every time I do, I lose it. Alright, so once again, that'll be it for now. I'll pick back up if I find something else interesting.